Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies strengthening your business while offering your talents to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Welcome everybody to the Giver Marketing Network, the Kingdom Warriors University, and the Prepared Group broadcast. We're here to be able to help you with your marketing efforts, take your communication and media game to another level. And we have a special guest today. Vickie Christensen is going to be helping us understand way more about Google than we've known before. There's all these different changes and fun little like test programs that you can play with, and all these different AI related conversations, search engine optimization of all kinds happening on Google Business Profile and the like. So we want to make sure that you are ready for the great Christy. Listen, Visibility Vickie has been a part of the Giver Marketing Network for years, and we want to be able to present her today as someone who's given us some fresh off the press information about 2024 and beyond when it comes to Google. So I'm going to bring her up on stage now. She's going to share a little bit of her story, her background. And Vickie, it's been great to just get to know you over the years. We come from the same part of the world, and we've worked on many projects together in one way, shape, or form. You help us with our visibility with Giver Marketing Network, kind of make sure we're able to be found, right? That's one of the biggest issues with businesses nowadays. There's so many pieces of information flying around everywhere. We want to make sure our businesses and our organizations that we represent are being found right online and making it easy for people. So Vickie, with that, can you share with us a little bit, how did you get into business you're in? How did you get into helping companies be found and looking good online? Like how did that even happen?
Good morning. It's so nice to be here with you, Tim, and Giver Marketing. And you're right, I have been with Giver Marketing for a long time, and it's a wonderful group of people that just essentially help people. And that's why I'm in this business. I mean, I'm a small business, and I had a family business, and so I couldn't figure out how people, they were all over the place. Like, how did they get all of those listings? How did that happen? And I just saw it as this huge puzzle, and I was determined to figure it out. And so I did. My background involves having a computer, I don't know, a long time ago when I lived in a little cabin in Pleasant Valley. And then I studied and became a network engineer and was a consultant. And then, I had to move equipment and stuff. So I thought, yeah, that's not such a great idea. I didn't really want to do that. So I went back to school. This is like when social media was really coming on, and people were asking me, help me, because they figured that I knew because I was involved in computers. And so I did know. I mean, I dove in, and then I went to school and went back to college and studied business and business marketing, and merged the tech with that, and then felt like I could, as long as I could communicate this, which is not always easy, so bear with me, um, then I could help small businesses get found. Because I was like, who are they going to call? Oh my gosh, right? So I did that, and along the way helped a ton of businesses and worked with Tim and all the other great people at Giver Marketing, and that's been a lot of years. And I'm just happy to be in this business because I get it, and it's always changing. So it's always interesting and keeps your brain moving, and it's just like any other puzzle. So we have figured out some of the intricacies. So let's dive in.
Speaking of puzzles, we're excited to see what you have for us. Thanks for sharing a little bit of your background. Ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend looking Vickie Christensen up. Uh, and notice how she spells her last name, okay? So there's two E's at the end. Uh,
No.
well, there's two E's in her name. Let's put it that way, in her last name. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the correction. I appreciate it. Two E's in her last name. That's just very important to note how to spell her last name when you're looking her up on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on other social platforms, just Googling her, making sure to be able to find her as well. Okay. So look her up even as you're watching this presentation so you can kind of check out her work. You can even scan the QR code that's going to be coming up, and you'll see that on the screen periodically as well. Okay. So let's go, Vickie. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to learn today, and I'm sure you do too.
All right. So, what are some of the biggest events in local search for 2024 and beyond? You always want to get found on local first. You have to do your foundation. Um, be solid with Google, and then if you want to spread out, spread out. But let's talk about local here for a minute. AI is that was the biggest thing that happened last year this time. Your 24/7 consultant and super smart pen pal. We're going to talk about some ways to use that in local search. Local search forums. If you use them, great. If you don't, you might want to look at them because Google's all over them right now. So openness, we're going to talk about your hours and Google Business Profile and what to look out for and how to make it work for you. Google websites and domains. Google, if you didn't know, they did make websites through your Google Business Profile. You could have said, yes, let's create a website. They are not doing that anymore. And they've offloaded their domains to Squarespace. So if you need help finding your domain or reinventing your website, let me know because we can help you with that. Reinstatement after suspension. That's your Google Business Profile. We're going to talk about that. Stay tuned. That's a little bit down on the slide bank, but you're going to want to know about that. As well as Google revalidation. So, you figure you get validated with Google and then you're good. But that's not true anymore. And I'll explain why. So you want to stay tuned for that too. And if you're a small business, which I think we all are, hopefully you may have an attribute that you can use to enhance your Google Business Profile. So you're going to want to know about
why does this matter, Vickie? Like what's the end result of doing this?
Well, one of my taglines is "Be best friends with Google." You just want to make sure your foundation is in good shape so that you can get found in search, and that you're considered a credible business. Because if you're not, Google will not index your website, which is your only real estate that you own, and that's the content you have the most control over. And so you want to be a credible business, and you want to be indexed by Google so you can get found. So we're going to move on to AI just really quick. We're not going to spend the whole time on this at all. But how it can help you in local search. If you're having to write a title for a blog, title for a web page, title for a YouTube video, descriptions for all of those, searching, recommending keywords, And well, creating images for sure. Dolly 3 now can do fingers that are really good. So, yay. We're going to talk about creating videos at the very end with AI. So, the thing about AI is that we talked about revalidation in Google. Well, AI is partially to blame for having to revalidate at any time because we are going to have to prove that we are authentic because you know there is uh, fake information out there, and so Google just wants to make sure that they are supporting real, live, credible businesses. So local search forms. Years ago, Google didn't put any authority on that. So well, years before that, they did. So you could go to these local search forums and talk about your business, answer questions, be an authority. That was good stuff back in the probably 90s. And then they said, nah, we're not going for that because they were all into social media. And so they were going for that. And then now they're in the phase of education and authenticity and being credible. So now they're taking a second look and they're giving credit to people who answer questions on these forums. And there are a lot of niche customers in these forums. So see this link right here. You might want to take a look at that at 6 cents. You probably already use Reddit, Stack Overflow, GitHub, possibly, but there's more involved in technology, marketing, all these different areas, and it's a great place to um, show your authority, which is what you want to do. Okay, so we talked about openness. Remember the hours on your Google business profile? It says hours open, right? So you want those to be accurate. You want those to be the same across all your platforms. If you're 8 to 5 and somebody's there at that brick and mortar or somebody's answering that phone, yay, put those in. If you're a 24/7 locksmith, yep, you can put that in. I wouldn't recommend it for hardly any other niches, but that one would work. Um, but what you want to pay attention to, this is the advantage of this, and they are really looking at it. So if your algorithm suddenly is showing, you're not getting any traffic at all, like all of a sudden, of course, you might want to look at your open hours. So is it after 5 and you're closed? Well, that's the shift. So if you're not open, Google's not going to be sending people there even for information as much. So the trick is if you have, you're a florist and you've got a florist 3 blocks down, that's open till 5, open till 6, stay open till 6. You're going to get that whole extra hour of traffic that they're not going to touch because they're not going to be getting the attention. Okay, so we talked about this a minute ago. Your Google domain is now with Squarespace, and they are stopping doing websites as of somewhere between March and June. I think it's going to be done. So um, easy enough to create a new website. Our team is here to help you. Um, Boom, done, and you don't have any problem. So you need to be aware of those dates. So why do we need to optimize and support our Google business profile? Well, it's a Google product. So we want to be best friends with Google. And everything that comes into Google, everything I send in and says, oh, this business does this. They do this, blah, blah, blah. They go, okay, cool. Okay, so they go verify by phone. Okay, I do. And they are still at that point checking it to be spam. So what I do now absolutely is I submit your business across the internet to high level business listings so that at the time that I put you in your Google business profile in for verification, they have something to gauge it against. They look at all those other listings and they go, oh, I see. Okay, yeah, they're already out here. They're a credible business. So boom, we're good. They may ask you to do one extra step. I'll talk about that in the next slide. But if you want to see um, what you look like, go to scan.wellmanworks.com. That's what the search engines will see. They want to see consistency in your information and as much of it across the internet as you can possibly manage. Now, if you go in and you cannot edit your Google business profile, or it says not visible to the public, you may be suspended. Um, One of the things that's just happened is we used to be able to go at Google all day long if you were suspended. We'd submit, we'd resubmit. I mean, they must have gone out of their minds. But now, yeah, you get two times, and then it's done. All your reviews, everything, it's gone if you don't meet the criteria. So call for help because it's never been more critical. Um, so if along the way you get a notice that says from your Google business profile, revalidate, you're like, what? I'm good. Well, okay. So this is what they're going to want you to do, and it's not terrible. It's 60 to 90 seconds of a quick video showing your business address on the outside of wherever your business is, even if it's your home, and this won't be used anywhere. You go in, you go to your desk, and you have all of your important papers that you want to show to validate who you are and your address that you use to validate, and you're golden, just like that. Okay, one of the things you can use to your advantage is there's attributes in your Google business profile. And, there's women owned, Latino owned, even talk about if you're ADA accessible, which is very cool. And your website needs to be that too, by the way. But um, there is an attribute in there for small business. So if you have a store or even just want to be highlighted as a small business, I think right now they are just definitely highlighting e-commerce. But it's an important attribute for you to take a look at. It adds a little business icon you can see to your Google Maps and shopping results. So we have always impressed on the importance of your content. It represents you, what you want to say, what you want to answer for the customer, your value proposition. So um, you want to be indexed. So we have to be best friends with Google along the way. So one of the things that will help you get indexed, your content indexed, is reviews on your Google business profile. That's 15% of your organic reach. You don't have to pay for that. You just have to get those reviews um, and respond to them. And they consider 6 months a current review. So when you're
Vickie, what does index mean?
index means that so that means that Google's putting it up for search, that it is being served to the search results. So you want to craft your content to answer users' questions. And there's more about this in a new acronym, which is called AEO, Answer Engine Optimization. So you all know about voice search, Google Home, Alexa, AI chatbots, Bard, OpenAI. We want to craft content so that we're answering customers' questions, and that's what that is. We used to rely on F8, frequently asked question pages, and we code them and everything. But this is the shift, and so we will pay attention to that in your about page, and we want to make sure that page is crawlable by the bots that are in the background, and that's a code in your web page. Um, And so just input questions that your audience asks, and that will have a chance then to show up in search. This is a new trick, new thing that you probably already know about it. Possibly. See this little beaker on the top? If I was in Chrome at this point. And so some AI answers are starting to show up. They call it SGE. What does that stand for? Generative AI in search. It's just new to me. But I'm looking at it, and I'm not looking too close at the moment because I'm usually too busy, when I'm trying to find search results. But take a look at it, and it might be fun. So up and coming. So we all know about Bard. Well, we might. So bard.google.com. If you don't, it's fun to play with. I did make a list of current text to video AI generators, because that's kind of the thing. If you got rid of your Adobe Images subscription, all these stock Adobe or like image stock companies are, they've got all these AI generators. So they're kind of like saying, okay, all right, we're not going to push this anymore. So, but the next thing is text to video. And so there are people that are doing it, and these are some of them. But I do understand that it's in beta right now for Bard. So that's going to be much more accessible and not cost, as far as I know, which is handy. Link building. Yep, it's still out there. It's still very important. It's always been important to have authoritative links between your website with your website. So, and that's authoritative. It used to be like .gov, .edu, and now there's a lot of other URLs and links that will give your website credibility if they are linked to you. And that was what I was talking about when I said we were going to pump up your Google business profile with business listings. that is what that is. So we get 25 or more high-level listings that refer to your website with your bio and your profile image and your website. That's link building you can do. That's not black hat. It's legitimate. Chamber of Commerce. That's a great one. You join the chamber, and they write something about you, and they put a link on their site going back to you. That's extremely valuable. Be known in your area. It's critical. Even if you don't do business in your area, it's critical. Okay, things not to do. Fake reviews. Okay. Well, yeah, people don't buy reviews. Or AI generated review responses. That is the one thing in AI that I have seen flagged. Google knows. Don't change. Okay, so if you change business locations or you go from a brick and mortar to a home-based business, be prepared for you'll get flagged. It's 99.9%. So you want to shore up your Google business profile with your business listings, and you want to make sure you have all your paperwork and ready, because if that happens, then you just want to be able to do your 2 times to go back at them and say, okay, this is me. And don't use a shared address or a PO box on your Google business profile. There are some shared addresses that do have full-time receptionists, and if you can manage some signage on those, then those can squeak by.
So you're saying don't use a shared address, or are you saying use a shared address?
Don't unless that is okay. Unless your shared address is one that has a full-time receptionist, on the hours that you're open, and you can gin up some signage.
Got it. Because they'll come by and check and in different ways, right?
Yeah, it's
Gotcha. Thank you.
possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Things to always do. Respond to your reviews using keywords and shout outs to those that worked with you. Share the wealth, right? Pay it forward. Back up your Google business profile. Have your business name and address match a utility bill, a fictitious filing, a business license, your BBB, Secretary of State. And if what you have on your Google business profile now that you like and love, and it's got some keywords in there, hopefully it's not keyword stuffing, like it's not legitimate, like a business name, then do a DBA with that. Like I used to just be Wellman Works, but nobody knew what that was. So I did Wellman Works, internet marketing, social media, web design. And I put that on my Google business profile, but I did a DBA so that I have that as a doing business as, so that if they come back at me and they say, wait, see, you're in that spam bucket, I'm going to go, wait a minute, hold on, no, I'm not. And if you need help, there's my phone number. It's a big puzzle, but it's fun. Okay, they're great tools, but we're here to help. I know there's a lot of information, but it's none of this is bad. It's all pretty good. All pretty good. So there, you can. My meeting link is Meet with Vickie. Scan your business, scan.wellmanworks.com, and my phone number 835-5704, area code 916. Thanks for
Awesome.
listening.
Thanks, Vickie. Meetwithvickie.com. Vickie. Okay. All right. Well, good job today, Vickie. I really appreciate you. And everybody, grab a screenshot of that QR code right there. Take a picture of it with your phone. Grab a screenshot. Do whatever you need to do to be able to get a hold of Vickie. We're going to go into some questions and answer time here in just a minute. Actually, let's bring up Tim Palmer. You mentioned him before. We've all worked together on some different things as well. Christine Dean, you can bring yourself up on stage if you'd like. We also want to just thank Vickie for putting all this hard work into presenting for us today, because this is hot off the press kind of information. So at this point, Tim, Christine, what questions do you have for Vickie that you're really curious about? Tim, I know that you're in the space. You and Vickie will work together on different things, and really appreciate you guys kind of locking arms as we go along here. Christine, what questions do you have for Vickie as well? I'm gonna keep myself muted here for a few minutes.
I know when I look at the Google, I go, oh my goodness, they've made so many changes, and it constantly changing. Welcome to technology, right? And I was just thinking, you mentioned about changing addresses, and I was like, well, I don't publicize my address, right? So it's not a listed address. So if I change addresses, am I going to cause problems? And I'm like, oh no. So if we don't list our address, is that a problem?
So you're what we call a service area business if you have a Google business profile. Are you talking about your Google business profile?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're a service area business. You're not showing your address, but you did use an address to get verified, right? And so if you move, and you have to get re-verified for any reason, that if they decide to do one of those cards, a postcard, it will go to that address that you have listed with them. That's the caveat. So if they don't choose to use a card to go to your address, and they just say, oh, just re-verify by giving me a video, which they've been doing more more often. Uh, your your best bet in the long run is to shore up your business profile with business listings with the correct information and change your address with Google. That's your best long-term game.
It makes us nervous, right? We're like, oh no, when you have to go make changes in Google, it's like, what's going to happen now if I mess
Well,
this
that's
up,
why you
right?
shore that puppy up with those business listings and have it backed up and have all your paperwork. It's just you just got to be prepared. That's all, because they just get so much spam. That's all.
Tim, I know you had a question about different forums and platforms. Can you bring that one up?
Yes, absolutely. And Vickie, being in kind of the same space, helping people with their local visibility. What are your thoughts? So I want to hear more of your thoughts on the Reddit and other forums like that. They're really taking over search engine results for local spaces. And like you said, you're exactly right. I mean, everything that you said today has been exactly spot on. I'm curious what you think, like, how can we as business or anyone listening leverage those forums, Reddit, and things like that to help improve our business visibility?
Check out that list at 6 cents, right? Um, it's I don't know. Do I need to list that somewhere? Anyway, if there was a chat or something. So you find a forum that is relative to your customer base, and it how can you leverage it? You answer. There are going to be questions. Reddit. I mean, all people all day long. Help me with this. What is this about? How does this work? So you answer these questions, and have a link ready if that forum will let you put links in. Have it ready to go to your website with a blog or something that does answer that. It's it's an email campaign and direct mail on steroids, because they're right in front of you and they're going to go back and look to see if you answered that. I mean,
So just by answering questions, am I getting this right? Just by answering questions, you're building kind of your online credibility, even on these forums like Reddit now. It's not just creating a blog and answering a question in long form. You can literally be super active on a forum or two, and it actually enhances your credibility, your searchability online by doing that. Is that what I'm hearing?
you are hearing that, and it also is in the loop of your long form, your blog. So like you go to the forum, you answer the question, and then you say, here's your here's the short answer, here's the long answer on this blog. And so then you've got a link from that forum, which we're talking about links, right? And you've got traffic. You're creating traffic to go right to your blog. So it's just an amazing addition, and Google's giving it credit.
I've been on these forums and looked at posts from like 5, sometimes 10 years ago, and they're extremely helpful because they're information based that's not really changing all the time. Or they're just topics that I at least glean something from. And I'm just imagining, if you're fairly active on a forum or two, how powerful that could be if you're doing exactly what is being suggested here and bringing it back to a blog or a web page or a social page, even just to kind of get people back to your garden, if you will, kind of your ecosystem. So, wow. And so it may not be like one big burst of people contacting you, but over time, it kind of aggregates, just like everything else when it comes to search and visibility and optimization of these kinds. Wow, this is I didn't know that, Vickie, and thank you, Tim, for the question, because it digs in a little bit more. Really appreciate that. Joel, do you have anything as far as optimization of search, visibility of any kind, how to be found online. You have any questions for Vickie that you're just kind of curious about?
Oh yeah, Vickie and I have some extended conversations at times, and I so appreciate her wealth of knowledge and the expertise that she brings to this industry and to our network. And I just wanted to ask, we generate a lot of content. We're doing some PR work and such to get people seen. And my question, Vickie, is, what's the relationship between paid traffic and organic traffic in this conversation?
The relationship, well, they're two separate things. Well, they're separate in one way, and they're tied to each other in another. They're tied to each other in that your paid traffic will always do better if you have a strong foundation, organic foundation. I can say that with confidence because I just started a business yesterday, and I don't have any followers. I don't have any content. I have nothing, and I do paid search. Yeah, people are going to look you up. So that's the relationship. That's the.
Wait a minute. You just said, yeah, people are going to look you up. Can you explain that in a way that a new business owner or a veteran would need to understand that more specifically? You got a paid campaign. It's actually looking pretty good. Maybe Joel built it or somebody built it, but they're going to look you up. What do you mean by that? Can you explain that, please?
Sure. So you give them an ad, and it's going to have a link of some sort. So it goes to a landing page or a video or a Facebook page or something. And so the Facebook page has one like. It was made yesterday. And the YouTube has nothing except for that one video. And it's going to be evident that it may not be good. So if you have an organic reach, so let's say you have 20 to 40 reviews on your Google business profile, and you've been building content, and you have your business listings, which means that you show up on the first 3 pages when somebody puts your business name in. It's a deal breaker. I mean, any millennial's gonna go, yeah, no, these guys, they're not happening. So that's
really anybody nowadays who uses online to search and find whether a company's credible or not. You might be the best service provider, product provider in the world, but if you're not building these foundations like Vickie's talking about, then what I'm hearing is you'll get some results from other activity, but not as many. You're gonna grab some folks that are really desperate for what you got, but they might just move on to the next person. You might actually be generating just a little bit of traffic for your competitor if you're not careful, by building your foundation here and looking legit.
Turn out.
And what is the impact?
Could I even add?
Go ahead, Tim.
No, I just wanted to add on that thought before we moved on, because this isn't just ads, right? It's not just social media where they go look up. I mean, if I asked all of you here, hey, what's your favorite? I'm looking for a painter in the area, right? I want to paint my house, and all of you gave me a recommendation. Chances are I'm going to go back to a Google Business Profile and check out all of your recommendations. So I love the word that Vickie used, which is foundational, right? Because no matter what, most people are trusting the online reviews of everybody as much or more than even a personal recommendation from someone they know.
And I had a follow-up question with that too, Vickie. There was a topic a few years back around your money and your life as being a Google category that was scrutinized in terms of domain name ranking and search results ranking, that the finance, health, those categories that were impactful at the finance level or the health related levels were scrutinized deeper by Google in terms of their ranking those websites as credible. Are we still seeing that as something? Because now that the ad policies are so strict, it almost seems like they're excluding a lot of those categories from even advertising.
I do remember a tiny bit about that. And I just think that I know the financial end, they have so many hoops to go through on their own. I can't imagine that Google would make it tougher, but then nothing really surprises me. So I can't really comment on that at the current time, what that status is.
Joel just said something, a word that half of us might know and the other half may not fully understand, the word ranking. Vickie, can you give us a kind of a beginning business definition of what is an actual ranking and why does it even matter?
Well, how you rank depends on how you show up in search, and there's many things in that formula. It used to be very keyword heavy, and it's still keyword is important, but things we talked about, links we talked about, educational material we talked about, being credible we talked about, not being spam. Those things all play into the game. So yeah, making sure you have your website optimized for keywords and other SEO elements, your local business. Oh my goodness, the laundry list is long.
Well, people can contact you for more, but at least we understand that it's related to the search itself and not something else. And so I appreciate you explaining that. Also, the word spam is used in email, but I don't often hear it used in search. And sometimes I'll hear the term keyword stuffing when it comes to search. But can you explain the kind of how to understand spam and keyword stuffing when it comes to Google specifically?
Well, Google specific everything that comes into Google is considered spam. So that's why you have to verify and be credible and prove to them out of the gate that you are an actual business. I mean, okay, so that's just how it relates to Google.
Give me an example of how you probably are. I think you already did earlier, but just give me a quick example of what is an obvious spam move and what's going to give you a better chance to play nice with Google.
Well, the better chance is using your actual DBA or your actual name, business name. So keyword stuffing and spam is like hairdresser Orlando. I just saw one the other day. This guy had 3 business listings and he just tripped up the name and added keywords in there for like a different street or a different county. And they were all fake. None of them were right. So
eventually he or she is going to be pulled down. It's a short-term gain at best, and it's a long-term issue. He might even be penalized in other ways.
Right. And if you're a locksmith or a garage door repair, you have actual people in your industry that are reporting you as spam, even though you're a legitimate business. They get you taken down. So that's why you want to back up your business profile and have all your paper, all your backup and ready. Because imagine if you're in that business.
And this matters because as you grow your business, your organization, whether it's a nonprofit or a business of any kind being listed on some of these platforms, you want to continually build on a solid foundation. Otherwise, you're going to have a house of cards, and it's going to come down it may not put you out of business, but it'll make your life a lot harder as you're doing business. And businesses, half of businesses don't survive 5 years as it is. So if you're going to be a rock star and you're going to do this right, talk to Vickie, look her up now. Ask her, go to meetwithvickie.com. Use the resource that we put in the comments so that you can connect with her that way. All of these resources that are here today, she's not asking you for $5,000 right now. She's giving you information that's worth way more than that at no cost. And I highly recommend connecting with Vickie. Every time I do, I learn something. Every single time. There's something new. There's something cool. There's something ways to get more business. There's some way to look more credible. We don't know how many projects or how many people we were able to connect with because of Vickie's work. There's so many credibility pieces. We're the highest rated reviewed network of marketing professionals on the planet, partially because of Vickie's tools, the way that she's brought those to the table. I'm telling you right now, you want to talk to Vickie if you want more credibility and more searchability online, and you want to be visible in a classy way. So there's my endorsement, Vickie, for you. We're really proud to be partnered with you. We really appreciate you. And with that, we just want to encourage people to go connect with Vickie directly. As we wrap up, as we land the plane today, I do want to mention that, Christine, there's an event coming up that's no cost. It's for marketing professionals. So if you're a marketing professional like you see in this room here, if you'd like to hang out with people like us, go to givermarketing.com/networking. Christine will put that in the comments as well. And you'll be able to sign up, register at no cost for this networking experience that gives you a little bit of a taste and see, a little camaraderie, a little connection, a little networking with professionals who actually care about your business. They actually want to partner with you. They want to do joint venture projects. They want to white label each other's services so that we can all kind of go to larger level projects and work together in a meaningful way, and really lock arms in a way that would generate revenue most for everybody involved, the clients, the power partners that are starting to work together more and more at givermarketing.com/networking. So it's our way to kind of say, hey, thank you for listening. Here's a gift to be able to connect with some of our folks. And again, speaking of our folks, Vickie, great job today. Really, really appreciate your work. And we look forward to the next time you're able to come up on stage and give us another fresh take on what's going on out there. So God bless you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at the networking event. And that happens every Wednesday. So givermarketing.com/networking. They'll get you there. Blessings, guys.